Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Only Leeds Bros. Happy Monday, great Monday. Eventually, we've been waiting for it, and Leeds United have confirmed their second signing of the summer in Jaka Bijol. Don't know what the wait was, but as they say, Dylan, all good things come to those who wait, and he's here and he's Leeds United eventually.
Yeah, another signing in the door. It's so surreal considering I think we all said...
We spoke about him for about 4 weeks.
I know.
Every stream for 4 weeks.
I've a pain in me talking about him. But he's here. He's here to stay. 5-year deal. Serious. But, I think we can all agree, everyone that's watching, I actually thought a lot of signings would have went out for us before.
Me too.
So, to get two in the door and keep it going, and that, obviously we've links, we'll talk about it. But, buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. Another body in the door, and it's real surreal now. Literally only just over a month away now until
Dalton also. I think they're back. They're back in pre-season the 7th of July, so it's going to come around thick and fast. 55 days as well for the first game of the season against Everton. So this is it. The countdown is on. We'll get ready to go. Before we do get into the rest of the video, lads, I do want to say thanks very much to our channel sponsors, Match Bingo, for sponsoring Only Leeds Bros. To get involved, all you have to do is scan that QR code down the bottom right hand corner of your screen, or if you hit the affiliate link in the description below to get involved. And then also the Leeds Creator Cup, as you can see, is coming thick and fast. We're all talking about it now. Takes place on the 20th of July in the John Charles Community for Sports Stadium. All your favourite Leeds United content creators will be there. Tickets are only £7 for adults and £3 for kids. It's going to be a great day. 1 in 8 men do suffer from prostate cancer, so it's very, very important. The whole event is covered by the sponsors of the day, so any ticket that is bought, any donation that is made will go directly to Prostate Cancer UK. So if you can get down or you can donate anything, even small, will be absolutely greatly appreciated. And as you'd imagine, if you have 8 friends, at least one of you will be affected from prostate cancer, so it's absolutely massive, guys. So we do really appreciate all the support that we get on this one. But we'll get a couple of the comments in the chat. Say hello to the people. Danny Talksport is here. He says, "Hope this isn't the be all and end all." Hopefully not, Danny. Hopefully not. We need a lot more than 2. Stephen Bourne says, "Definitely sounds like Gomez." Yeah, we will get into Gomez 100%. Has everything that you would like in a Prem experience, good age, quality, has been surrounded by world-class players and managers while in the Prem. We will get into Gomez as well. A couple of loose links about him today, but we'll get into that. Mighty White's LUFC says, "Great signing, looking forward to the stream, bro. Thanks very much." Amy Clark says, evening, Amy. Evening, bros, Danny and all. Evening, Inky. Thanks for popping in, pal. Happy Monday to you. Evening, gents. Evening, Jam. Hope you're keeping well, pal. I'll give you a shout out later, buddy. Shane Kavanagh is here. Evening, gents, and Dillo, as always. Evening, lads. Finally, it's happening, and it's another of many exciting signings. I'm 100% sure. Love how the 49ers operate. 100%. Yeah, working silence. Absolutely brilliant. Evening chat as well was that was real. My apologies. No problem at all, buddy. So, Dylan, yeah, we have our man. Many as may see, we put together a little profile here on Jaka Bijol there when we spoke about him a couple of weeks ago. So 25 years of age, 6'3", absolutely massive build, right foot, centre back, but can also play defensive midfielder, which we know Farke likes men that can play in different positions. So it's good to know that he can play that defensive position as well. CSK Moscow, Hanover and Udinese has 60 plus caps as well for his national side. There's nothing to be sneezed at, and has played at Euro 2024. So it has bundled loads of experience. Pros of Jaka Bijol is defensive versatility, physicality. Originally developed as a midfielder, and now he's moved into a natural centre-back. Knows how to break up the play, interrupt, track runners, dominant in the aerial duels, which is going to be massive in the Premier League, attacking and defending corners. Real weapon on that, which is going to be the 1%ers in the Premier League. And uses his size well without being overly aggressive and physical. And if any is listening to his interview with the club, absolutely brilliant. Talked about him being that kind of old school sort of defender, likes to tackle, likes to get stuck in. So really
we all
good.
know us as Leeds fans love a good out tackle, especially when they absolutely got through the player, take the ball with him.
Where we Adam is here. Adam says, "Evening, guys. Evening, Adam. Thanks for popping in, buddy." Michael is here as well. Good evening, Michael. Amy Clark says, "Can't wait for the Creator Cup, Stephen, and to meet Lisa." Yeah, it's class. Bijol, is it just me, or he looks like an older version of Cresswell? Yeah, not a bad shout,
just
actually.
Cousin. Not a bad
shout. Yeah, pronounced Haka, Yaka. He's here anyway. He's here, and that's all that matters anyway.
5-year deal anyway. That's the main thing. That's a
5-year deal, Dylan. Yeah, exactly. That was next on the hit list that I have noted down here. So a 5-year deal for Jaka Bijol. There was obviously rumours that it was going to be a 3-year deal. So this obviously ties him down now to 2030. A fee around £22 million when you include the bonuses that have been added into this one as well. So not bad, Dylan. Not bad, because we can obviously spread this fee now over the course of 5 years. So looks like a really decent piece of business from Leeds United.
Yeah, young but old enough as well. You know, that has a good few years left in the legs.
Prime. Coming into his prime, isn't it? Loads of experience, yeah.
But yeah, like I think what I'm most excited about is from set pieces, defending and attacking them. I think because we've struggled with that the last few seasons. And then, you know, as you said, in his profile himself, it's been clear that he's scored a few goals from set pieces, whether free kicks or corners or etc. But then also there, just to give us that bit of cover as well at the back. Obviously now we're going to get into Joe Gomez, but, you know, considering with Pascal Stroke, if he does stay or if he does leave, he does have the tendency to suffer late in the season with injuries. So it's nice to have that bit of cover as well, you know. Now I know we had Max Warber, but that's a clown of a fella, if I'm being honest with you. And whatever. It's just nice to have that kind of comfort zone, if I'm being honest. And, you know, it kind of gives not taking Ampadu out of midfield, dropping him back into centre half. Because natural position for Ampadu is midfield, but people prefer him there.
Nice to have a little bit of cover there. Yeah. And we
it's
know
just looking at the bench, just whole row. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We need at least, look, you're not going to get it everywhere, but you need at least 2 covered in each position, Dylan. That's what Leeds United are looking for. We know with Strike the last couple of seasons that he always seems to kind of get them customary injuries, and we can't afford to have that in the Premier League, Dylan. If Ampadu's in that midfield, to take him back out into centre half, and it's nice to see that we've got it done early now, and now we can look at other positions. So that's it, Jaka Bijol. I think we've spoke about him enough. You've probably listened to every other Leeds content creator stream about him. They've gone a lot more in depth about him than what we have. So we'll move on a little bit and we'll get couple of the other links that have been floating around today, a couple of very, very interesting ones that will kind of prick your ears a little bit. So the first one that I've seen today, Dylan, is Joe Gomez from Liverpool. Now look, it is a very, very loose link, but then when you sit down and you think about this one, is he going to get back into that Liverpool team? Probably not. Is he a player that Daniel Farke would go after? I think so as well, because again, he can cover 2 positions. He can cover centre half. We know he's played right hand side for Liverpool as well when Trent hasn't been fit and he's been out of the team. Joe Gomez has stepped in there as well. The only thing I think probably for this one might stop Leeds United going there is the fee, reportedly around £30 million after signing Bijol today for 22. You know, are they going to drop 52 million on, you know, a possible centre back pair? And it's a lot of money, isn't it, for Joe Gomez, even though he's quality and plenty of Premier League experience.
Yeah, well, that's one thing straight away. It's the Premier League experience. You know, he's played for Liverpool at top side, so I think would be in our favour to go after someone like that. Now, what being said, how old is Gomez? I don't know.
Gomez is 28.
28, so yeah, he still has that Premier League quality, but yeah, I think it comes down to the fee, doesn't it? Let's be honest, spending that much money on 2 centre halves when you look, I know we have 2 there, but I mean, as you said, for every position you kind of want that bit of cover. But then I suppose now's the time for me anyway. Now start offloading a few players that aren't going to be here. For example, Firpo, Max Warber, probably Bamford. Let's be honest. Just to kind of give us free up a little bit of space that Leeds can go in a different direction and probably not spend stupidly either, because at the end of the day I think 30 million is a lot for a player. You know, at the end of the day, if you put it down
if you look on from Muniz, Dylan, from Fulham, like it was 32 million for him. You know, you're only 2 million off that. You're going to pay that for a defensive player, you know. Yeah. You know, 32 million for a striker. We don't look like we're going to go any more than them. So I think it's a very high fee and it's a bit of a reach, isn't it?
Why can't we all just get like that kind of fee for like with Tanaka? Like Tanaka was a steal.
Just they're out there.
Just do that.
I'm sure they will. Then I'm sure they will. I'm sure.
I think that's what you want. You know, you just kind of want enough players to give us that rotation. Number one, and also that kind of just encouragement for each lad, whether they're on the bench or whether they're on the pitch, to fight for their place week in, week out.
Yeah. Competition 100%. Shane Kavanagh says, hope he's as good as the hype. Let's be honest, 2 months ago, money is heard of, or none is heard of him, and he's been blown up as the second coming. That's it, Shane. Now look, I do have to say I've watched him a bit since we've been linked with him, watched all the bits and bobs about him. Does look like the type of player that we could use, but then let's be honest, we said the same thing about Rasmus Christensen. I remember when he was coming in, everyone was saying, the Viking, hard tackling, he's going to be the next kind of Pontus Janssen-esque sort of cult hero. And sometimes it don't happen, sometimes it all looks great on paper and it doesn't work out. So you're 100% right, Shane. We just have to wait and see, can he live up to the hype? But on paper, it looks like a good sign. And you have to get excited. Leeds back in the Premier League signing players. Jam says, what's encouraging as well is that he signed a 5-year contract with us. So to me, that signals that he's bought into what has to be achieved in the club in the long term, and that's it. There's no way he's signing a 5-year contract if they haven't sold it to him. What the long-term vision is, what the 49ers want, stadium development, Premier League security, all that. So 100% right, Jam. And then the other side of it as well, spreading that fee over a 5-year contract is unbelievable as well. Philip says, evening all, MOT. Evening, Philip. Thanks for popping in, pal. And Stephen Bourne says, I'd be all over Gomez, but it's not realistic. The money Liverpool would want, and that would mean Rodon and Strike are on the bench. Gomez not coming here to sit on the bench, 100% not. And then the flip side about Gomez going back to him as well is that his injury record as well at times hasn't been great at Liverpool. I have a lot of my friends that are Liverpool fans. They really like Joe Gomez when he's on it and he's fit. But again, he has struggled at times with his injury record and paying 30 million for a player who, I wouldn't say is injury ravaged, but does kind of like Strike, does have them injuries here. There.
But he's not going to give you what Rodon gave us just the season gone, let's be honest. Not that you expect that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not expecting for Rodon to do that week in, week out, but I just mean, you want all lads fit. I know that's easier said than done with players getting injured. It's a hard old season. But I mean, you just kind of want me as a fan personally to go, I don't know who Farke's going to start this week. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want to be looking at a squad and going, I know who's going to start where and what. You kind of want everyone just to have that bit of bite.
But I don't mind it, Dylan. It's more so the competitions, the competition side of things, and like that. I think look, don't get me wrong. I'd like Joe Gomez to come in here and be fit. Be unbelievable, if you've got your Rodon, Joe Gomez, be all Strike, you've got Ampadu can cover there as well. Like, they're unbelievable options, but is that realistic? I don't think so, Dylan. And I think now that we've got that kind of centre half position nailed, then we do have to be looking elsewhere. We've spoke about goalkeepers. The last stream that we done, there was nothing really rumbling around goalkeepers. It seems to be a little bit more coming out, but still very quiet in that front. Need left back. Probably another centre midfielder, definitely another number 10. The club have already said, another striker. Someone possibly, as you said, a little backup to Jayden Bogle as well if things don't go right there. So even though it is a second signing, we seem to be getting the business done nice and early. There's still a lot of work to be done in this Leeds side.
Oh yeah, definitely. 2 signings in the door. Look, it's great, don't get me wrong. Leeds are actually doing business a little bit earlier. Let's be honest, we should all, be happy with that. But as I said a few weeks ago when the season did end and when we were talking about transfers and loose ends and etc., I want players in this team that are not going to be here, gone, and I want the new players in to be ready for the pre-season. I'm just being honest with you, lads, because we can't afford any mistakes going into this Premier League. Not a chance. We need to fight. 17th, I'd be happy. I'll take it. I'll snap down now, for it. Don't get me wrong, I know we all want to see Leeds play wonderful football. It's going to be ups, it's going to be downs, as it is. But we need to get everyone in. We have a hard season, and especially going back to the situation with Farke. I think you're right. To be honest with you, you did say it a couple of videos ago. The 49ers are going to have a tight leash on Daniel Farke, and I'd say within the first 5 games, it'll probably determine his future at Leeds United.
Yeah, I agree. Look, we'll definitely touch on Farke on a stream closer to the season. Then we'll really kind of delve into, because we haven't really looked at the fixtures end, but we will take a look at them opening games because I want to dive into it a little bit more and get a couple of the people's thoughts on it a little bit closer towards the season when we kind of have a squad and we kind of look at their squad, look at our squad, and how we kind of shape up on that. But yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit further down the line. Michael Pollard says here, Gomez, I agree, no chance he pushes Rodon to the bench. Not for me. I want to see how Rodon gets on. He's been absolutely sensational this season, so I want to see him. He deserves a chance in the Premier League for me. Stephen Bourne says, for me, Rodon, first pick, he deserves it. Yeah, just what I said. Based on the last 2 seasons, okay, he's not proven in the Prem, but he has to start, 100%. And it's along, what do you think? I think, like that, there's always going to be a question mark, always, of Championship players taking that step up to the Premier League. You're always going to go, can they do it? But we have seen it before that there's players that can do it. We've seen Ivan Toney stepping up from the Championship. He was able to do it as well. Ollie Watkins, he was able to do it. So there is players that do step up from the Championship that are well able to do it in the Premier League. And then there's players that you think are going to absolutely cruise in the Premier League and they don't do it. It's one of them. It's very, very hard to gauge. And different physicality, you know, technical ability, all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot to take into account with the step up to the Premier League.
Yeah.
Danny Talks Leeds is in here, says smash a like and subscribe. Please do that, lads. Please do that. Carl says, how are you, lads? How are you both? And what a signing. I'm really, really good, Carl. I hope you're keeping well, buddy. And yeah, as I said, great signing. But I'm kind of... It was like one of them we were waiting till, like, when is it going to be announced? It kind of felt like when
it was actually just
Fabrizio Morano did it last week. When it was announced last week, it was kind of like it was done then and now it's announced today. It kind of took the kind of feel out of it a little bit more. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, finally he's here. But I think if it had been done by Romano and then announced today later, or a couple of hours later, it would have been like, ah, yeah, brilliant. But it kind of feels like now we've kind of got used to the sign. We've already kind of accommodated for Bijol being in this team, and it's kind of more so now, well, who's next? Who are we looking at next? Where's the next one coming, isn't it?
There's more to come, lads. That's all I will say. But as I said, I think I wouldn't be surprised now to start jumping a few out the door.
Well, let us know your thoughts as well on Bijol as well, lads. Look, I'm sure everyone's on board with it, but if one of them where you look at you think I'm not too sure, let us know in the chat, because it's always good to have a conversation about it. Yeah, I think we were waiting on the paperwork to come through. That's what I heard as well, buddy. Yeah, it was all work permits and paperwork and all stuff like that. Yeah, but that's it from Jaka Bijol and Joe Gomez. But one that we do have to obviously speak about, and it was one that I think kind of has Ben White vibes off it, Dylan, is the Manor Solomon one. For me, today I've made peace with Manor Solomon not coming back to Leeds United. Was told that Daniel Levy had just priced Leeds United out, the fee was well too high, is what Leeds United were just not going to pay it. And then obviously all the noise coming out of Manor Solomon's camp as well is that he wants to stay at Spurs and fight for his place, Dylan. But there's no real kind of begrudgment there of Manor Solomon. He had a brilliant season for us, scores the winning goal to win us the Championship. He doesn't really have any loyalties to Leeds United. He's got his career back on track. He kind of goes with our good graces. But it's kind of one of them, Dylan. It would have been nice to see him come back and put on the Leeds shirt again, but not looking likely, is it?
I think it was the dream come true, lads, if I'm being honest with you, because at the start of the season, everyone was all hyped up about him, and then he got the injury and, made the slip up poorly, and then all of a sudden people were hating him, including myself, calling him, overweight and etc. And he just, he had a rough start to the season, but then he came on and he hit the ground running nice and early after his injury. At the end of the day, we don't know what went through his head. A back injury, it's hard to determine, and probably played with his mental health an awful lot, but he done the right thing, and then he come on and he done what he done, and let's be honest, he scored the winning goal to make us champions. So we don't know him anything, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, for the happy ending, the kind of thing would have been nice to see him at Leeds, but at the end of the day, when you have an owner that's just, in my eyes, a miserable, money grabbing, it is what it is. But then when you look at it from that way, you can't really blame Solomon because he wants to fight for his place. So
yeah,
he's done what he can to do. He got Leeds back into the Premier League.
Yeah. I just didn't feel like we put it better. Let us know your thoughts in the comment box below, lads. How you feeling about Solomon? Are you kind of okay with him staying at Spurs? One of them feels like it's kind of got away. Would I like him to kind of come back to Leeds United?
I would have liked him to come back.
For me now, it feels like that's it. It's drawing the line in the sand. It's moving on to the next one. Right, who's out there? Because we do need another winger, Dylan, don't we? Ramazani is definitely didn't do enough in the Championship, even though I do think he's a high ceiling. But high ceilings, doesn't bring you, consistency, performances and stuff like that. So we have to see how he gets on. Will he not do as well? We know he done it the last time in the Premier League, but has been very inconsistent in the Championship as well. Let's see how he gets on. Dan James is probably the one winger that you look at and say, yeah, I think he can take the step up to the Premier League. So it feels like we need just another winger there to kind of just push that. And probably a standout one. I wouldn't say marquee, but one of them where you go, I'm happy to have him.
I was just seeing there Danny's comment there talking about Harrison coming back. That'll just wind me up altogether if that happens. Going from Solomon to Jack Harrison,
The massive downgrade. Massive downgrade. Centre back asset test. I wonder if Farke will put him as centre back just to get him on the pitch while other centre backs have been fit. Yeah, maybe so. Paul says, for me, it's Strike who should be worried, as I can see him playing with next season. Me too, buddy. Yeah, I think he'll slot in for Strike. As a left-hand sided defender, you don't have to be left-footed to play left-hand side of the defence. No, you don't, buddy. You don't. And physical partnership in Elland Road on Dylan, isn't it? When you look at the
serious. But then, like, Stroke still on the bench, coming on. Like, they're big lads in the centre half positions. So I wouldn't be like to come up against them now, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. The 49ers have done a brilliant job in this window so far. Yeah, more to come. All Leeds are maybe sure are, buddy. Loads more to come. Love Solomon and will always be thankful for what he did, but there's players out there that are cheaper on the same level, if not better, and I'm sure we will bring in a replacement. Yeah, 100%, Stephen. And we've seen it there. There is players out there, low cost, and do have the quality, and I'm sure Leeds United are swimming in all them pools looking to try and get them in. I had a feeling we wouldn't. I'm not having Harrison. No way. No chance. What a massive downgrade for Harrison. I'm not agreeing with that, Danny. He has to go. Excuse me. I definitely would have liked him to stay, but we move on. I'm sure the 49ers have a couple of replacements lined up. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. Forgot Solomon. Yeah. Forget Solomon. His heart is obviously not in it. I think he came down, Paul, to get his career back on track. He's done that now. He goes back to Spurs, who, after winning a European trophy, not a great season last year, back in the Champions League, new manager Thomas Frank, new chance to impress the stadium, everything about it. So you can kind of understand why he's staying there. So look, we'll see.
It's not bad blood. No bad blood.
No bad blood. It's not like he's done us dirty or anything like that. It's not like
it's
not like we've got promoted and he's our player and now he's gone on to Spurs. And we're playing in the same league or anything like that. It is what it is. I love Manor lads, but I wouldn't have us spending 25 million plus, which Levy would have wanted 100%. He would have had our pants down. He's one of them, 100%. Good old Billy Joel. Marching on with Sean. Go check him out there. New channel here on the Leeds Space. Go check him out at the one and only Sean Healy. Jack Harrison scores the winner against Everton 1-0 and comes off the bench. Not having it. Definitely not. 100% not. Then let's move on to the goalkeeper in front then, because when we spoke about this on Friday, it seemed to be very quiet. I said there's no sort of links, guys, so they just do want to say this. This is all kind of pinch of salt, but little bit of murmurs about Ilhan Melli. There was talks last week, which for me, absolutely no chance was talks about him going to that club in Turkey. We should just have no dealings with them whatsoever. I don't think it came from the club. I think it was just drummed up by someone out there in Expo. Strasbourg seemed to have a little bit of interest in Melli, supposedly keeping a keen eye on him, Dylan. Probably will it be when we see Mez moved on? Will then Leeds United look to bring a goalkeeper in rather than bringing one in now and trying to get Mez out then?
I think with PSR, I think they have to be fair. I think this is what I'm saying. I think two signings in the door now. Now it's time to start ruffling up and packing up lads. But I've said it since the start of the season, since the Sunderland era, Melia has to go. I would say he's not playing with my heartstrings at all. I want him gone. I really do. I'm just being honest with you. At the end of the day, he was a great keeper at a time and a period in Leeds United. Sadly, it wasn't this season. But I can't really abuse him. Do you know what I mean? He did put on his gloves week in, week out. Tried.
He's just not good enough, Dylan. He's not good enough, isn't he? Not the proof is there in the pudding. And the fear, Dylan, is if you go into that Premier League season, and again, you've touched on it there, the first 5 games. I don't think Farke really trusts him anymore, and then it's playing with Farke's future. Then first 5 games, if Mez is in nets and he makes another howler, Dylan, it's just not worth it. The fan base, the meltdown, the pressure will put on their Farke and all that as well. It's just.
I'll put it this way: if the 49ers supposedly, or if Daniel Farke took Mellier out of the firing line because we were potentially going to bottle it, more or less, and to bring Darlow in, what makes you think that it's okay to start him in the Premier League next season? If you didn't trust him then, how can you trust him now?
Yeah.
In a higher division with more stuff on the line.
More errors now behind
the
season.
That doesn't make sense to me, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah. So I think it's just a waiting game with Mellier.
Sean Healy says here, I think we get Ramsdale, and that is one Dylan that came out today.
Yeah.
looks like Southampton are happy enough to let him go. Now he has been linked again with that team from Turkey. I'm just sick of any player linked to him. Drives me mad. Talks about Rangers possibly as well, where he could go up. Scotland, which wouldn't be a bad signing for them. Decent goalkeeper in Scotland. And Leeds United as well. And we spoke about, I don't think it's one of them if you sign Aaron Ramsdale where you say, oh, brilliant, that's great, I'm happy with them, unbelievable goalkeeper. I'd be more looking at the likes of Pope, and we'll talk about Pope a little bit further on. But he's one of them, Dylan, where he's definitely a better level than Elland Road. So if you do bring him in, it's one of them, well, look, we're after improving on what we got. Is it what we wanted, or is it what I want? No, probably not. But it'll definitely be an improvement on Mez.
I actually feel sorry for Ramsdale, lads, to be honest with you, because when he was at Arsenal, I thought he was phenomenal. And then obviously,
he had his dips.
But sure, as any a goalkeeper does. But when you're dipping like Meslier, I think that's an argument to have. You know what I mean? If you do the basics as a goalkeeper, I think we all want. If I catch a ball and come and catch it when it needs to be caught, whether it's from a corner. But Darren, you know what's going to. It's like a sour taste in my mouth thinking about it. Going back to the game against Arsenal, you know the one I'm talking about, when Melia's kicking.
How good he was.
And you rang me at half time to tell me that this keeper is going to be the next best big thing. And I'm not saying that to you to say you're a clown for getting it wrong.
We all thought it
what I'm saying is, yeah, he was sensational. He was nothing but sensational. So for me now, it's kind of, as I said, the sour taste in my mouth, because I genuinely thought this fella would have been the next best thing. But I think it's time now to move on for his career, for himself and for Leeds United. But Ramsdale wouldn't be a bad shout either.
No. Could be worse, lads. Could be replacing Farke. Andrews, yeah, just mad. And I hear today, if any Irish League of Ireland fans, the talk is today that the reason Damien Duff is after leaving Shelbourne is to go be number 2 with Keith Andrews at Brentford. That's the talk anyway. So it'd be interesting to see how that one goes. Michael Pollard says Solomon, can't fault the lad, came down, showed great attitude, probably as the main reason we got promoted, staying at Champions League club, it's a no-brainer. That's exactly it. You can't knock him for him. He came down and he took a massive risk. We spoke about Solomon. He took a massive risk dropping down to the Championship. If it didn't work out for him, his career would have just absolutely spiraled. He would have been looking at him down. Spurs would have wanted to get rid of him. And you look at the difference, the attitude that he had to come down, trusting in himself, to get himself right, to bring his career back on track. You look at Emi Buendia, he didn't want to drop down to the Championship. He goes off to Germany, doesn't work there, and he's at a crossroads of his career. He's sitting on a Norwich podcast there last week, then basically telling Daniel Farke to come get him. So you look at different players, and all these decisions can shape your career. So fair play to Solomon. He's got it back on track, and I want to see him doing well. Just not at Elland Road next season. That'll kill me to see him come to Elland Road and doing it against us. Yeah. Going inside in that right foot, scoring a similar goal to win that won us the Championship would kill me. No, I meant concentrating so much time, effort, and energy into signing someone nothing derogatory. That's all right. Don't worry about it. He starts in goal, and he doesn't. Then he doesn't. Football Guru linking us with Sebastian Szymanski, is it? Szymanski. I don't know who he is, but I've never heard of him before. I can't confess that I have heard of him before. Mez, the only way he probably moves on if he sees us get a goalkeeper come in as number 1, probably brought, knowing that Farke will start him. That's what I think. I think Mez will go first, and then we'll look at getting someone in. But a few doors might be opening, Dylan. We seen today Burnley are looking at Max Voice. He's all but done. Trafford will probably start talking to Newcastle now as well. Newcastle want to keep Pope and Trafford there as competition then for the starting spot. Will Nick Pope want to stay at Newcastle, Dylan? 33 years of age. Not coming to the end of his career, because we know keepers can kind of go on till they're, 30, 39, 40. So, but it's one of them that could open up a door for Leeds United, this one with Nick Pope.
Yeah, loads of Premier League quality again, but I think the age is something. I know they can play into their 40s, but I'm looking for someone maybe just a little bit younger. I still wouldn't say no, don't get me wrong. But I think the younger route would be a better way to go with that kind of experience. I think Ramsdale for me is someone I'd be really confident for, because don't get me wrong, if Nick Pope came, I'd be happy, but I can't see it happening. I really can't.
Yeah, agree. Sean says rather Pope John Paul than Nick Pope. Oi. So who would you go for then, Sean? I think Pope would be solid, absolutely solid.
I would, but I just can't see him getting
Can't dip. That's the problem. Yeah, for me, Mez just can't do anything. They just need to get rid of him soon as. Would like Pope to be honest, but won't be someone that is that good with their feet and their hands as well. And that's probably the letdown with Pope, isn't it? As well as that his feet aren't too great. But lads, to be honest with you, Mez's distribution over the last couple of seasons hasn't been great either as well. Like the amount of times we've seen him kicking it out over the sideline and that as well. So he's definitely better than Pope with his feet and that. But, you weigh up the options, shot stopping or with your feet, what a goalkeeper should be doing is saving chances, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
For me. Oliver says, lads, I think that we should loan out Joseph to a championship club for the season. Where he is first choice and monitor him 100%. And we spoke about this so much, Emmett, and then I was watching Jerry Lynch's news video today, as I'm sure we all were. And again, that the claims have been squashed as well, that he's going anywhere. Leeds are keen to keep on barring a big fee coming in that the club just cannot refuse. I think it's going to be over 10 million they're looking for. I can't see Joseph going anywhere. And it is one of them that you look at. If you send Joseph off, a player with all this potential that we know has bags of potential but hasn't fulfilled it yet, then you keep the likes of Patrick Bamford, who does have all the Premier League experience, has done it in the Prem before, but can't be relied on. It feels like you're shooting yourself in the foot there, Dylan, for me. It's one that I just don't like the thought of.
Yeah, I have to agree there, to be fair. It's just getting to the point now where I just want the season to start now and see who goes. I'm like a little spoiled child.
Yeah, agree, 100%. Stephen Bourne's comment here as well. Leslie Greenwood, Joffrey, Harrison, JB, Vauber all have to go. And how much do you think? How much do you think we will bring in from those sales? Yeah, there's a lot there. There's a lot there to go through. And look what Dylan says, Bamford. And I think you might, I've said it all the way through the start, I've said it, you might see Gruev going, possibly a strike. If is strike looking at this now going, oh, well, if a fee comes in for me, I might want to dip somewhere as well. So there's still a lot of time left in this window. There's still a lot of work to be done. And there's still players to leave this team as well. There's a lot of dead wood to get out of this team as well. So we'll see. Ramsdale or Petrovic, I'd rather Pope over Ramsdale, but Petrovic is a good show. I like the look of Petrovic as well, so I agree with you there, buddy. Pope kept only in the Prem 2 seasons ago, will be a class win, and that's where we're at, isn't it, realistically, Stephen? You got to be looking at them going, for where Leeds United are at the minute, and now we want, looking for the future, a decent goalkeeper, but for where we are at the minute, I don't think we should be turning our nose up at Nick Pope, 100% not, especially the drab that we've had in nets for the last couple of seasons. Solid goalkeeper, yeah, look what Paul says, solid goalkeeper. We go for the first 1 or 2 seasons, they'll bring a lot of experience, a lot of calm, and play Champions League football, play Premier League football, Newcastle, massive crowd, massive club, can deal with the pressure.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah, I never thought about it that way. Yeah, maybe so. As I said, for me, it was just, I think it's because we were reliant on such a young goalkeeper, or maybe young but with a bit more quality and a bit more experience than Meslier. But yeah, I suppose it wouldn't be too bad for the first 2 seasons just to get the foot in the door and keep us in the Premier League. It's not a bad show as well, but I suppose it depends on whether he wants to come here, and I suppose the price as well is another one.
Danny says, can't believe how bad Bamford just scored more than Pirro. No, you won't. Definitely not. Bet you anything you like. Definitely
Danny,
not.
just stop the nonsense talk.
Stephen Bourne says, forget Bamford, Dillo. Yeah, 100% forget Bamford out the door. Good luck. Shane Kavanagh says, JB just signed a new deal and will be loaned out. Not a bad one as well. Same with James De Boyo as well. I think it's very close for agreeing a new deal at Leeds United. Looks like a good young player as well, only 19. We sent out on loan and kind of see his development and see how he gets on, Dylan, as well over the next couple of seasons as well. So there's a lot of good youth in this team, Dylan.
That's what I'm saying. It's good.
We can't make decisions on them just yet. Just tie them down to Dale, send them out on loan and see how they get on.
It's great though. You go back to the Joseph situation when you got called up and you had a great pre-season and everyone was saying that he was gonna be the championship top goal scorer, which is just a mad statement by whatever. But with Gigi going out and the boy hopefully now signing a new contract as well, it's clearly obvious that Leeds see something and potential in these players, and just to give them as much football as they can possibly get. So to be fair, I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Yeah, definitely 100%. I'll agree with you, pal. Joe Blackburn is in the building. Bet you Bet the Roses outscored the Peacocks. How about that one? Well, by the videos that are circulating around social media of Joe Wayman's finishing, I don't think we have anything to worry about. Now, here is a different story now from Imagine not being Leeds. hear that he can finish. And then, what about you, Joe? How's the knees? Are you going to bottle this? Are you going to be on the sidelines? Are you still quaking in your boots? I don't think you're up for it. He's using the excuse of doing the walk, Dylan, and his knees being sore that he mightn't do the Creator Cup, so I'm not too sure of you.
I don't know about that now, Joe. You know, could be a possibility I can make it 40 to 50 second cameo. You know, and if it's a free kick, it's going in on top of you.
Fullback that can't finish. Are you talking about Wayman or yourself? I don't claim. I'm not a finisher. Free kick though. Free kick on you is coming. You'll see how it goes. I'm really looking forward though. Again, lads, not serious. Go get your tickets to Leeds Creator Cup. It's going to be an unbelievable day out, lads. Full of fun and all. It's going to be a great day. And come and watch the Peacocks absolutely smash the Roses.
Go on, up the Peacocks. Go on,
the Roses are talking a good game. Do you know what I mean? Putting the videos out, them going training and stuff like that. Where the Peacocks are, behind closed doors. Doing quiet training sessions and all that. You know what I mean? About to unleash the beast. So don't worry. The Peacocks are going to be ready to absolutely smash the Roses come the 20th of July. Don't worry about that one. Michael says the new Leeds model, even if we survive the first season in the Prem, we can't get attached to players. May have to sell a gem every season to be sustainable. Buy prospects, buy cheap, sell high. That's it, Michael. That 100%. Look what Brighton did for the first couple of seasons. I would love Leeds United to replicate that. Unlock gems from across Europe, bring them in, sell them to teams like City for big fees, and just keep building and building. Recruitment is absolutely massive. We need to get it right. Danny says up the Roses, no chance, but you're on the wrong side of that one, Danny. On the wrong side of that. Won't even go to penalties as well, Danny. You see you're saying it's going to penalties. Won't go to penalties. We'll have the game home and hose, but then first half 4 or 5-0, and we'll take the foot off the gas for the second half.
Can't even read that
out. I know he means penalties. He means penalties. You didn't see that. You see my penalties. You're not scoring against anyone. Not see me first two. My first two are perfect. And then one bad foot and one dizzy penalty. Give us a break here, lads. Been practicing, any. What do you think of the Boyo contract extension? Because unlike Archie, he got absolutely no game time or confidence from last season. I think it's one of them you have to have a look at, Paul. We already touched on it, is that from the very, very small amount that we've seen him and the bits that I've seen him watching him in the 21s, there is potential there. Very young, only 19 years of age. I don't think it's a bad thing tying him down to a deal. Let him go out on loan, see how he progresses. You've got nothing to lose. He won't be on massive wages. He'll definitely be one of them prospects for the future, and the club seem to think highly of him. So I don't think we're losing that here by nailing him down and send him out loan and let him get game time down. That would be my thinking of it. Stephen Woods. Are you sure? Are you sure? Don't know about that. I'm going with the Roses till you agree Bamford scores more than Pirro. No chance. No. You can stick with the Roses, buddy. No chance at all. Pirro scores more than the Prem. Dillo, I've seen your maybe your finishing for the Whites wake up. Absolutely brilliant. Definitely a secret weapon. That's it. We're pretending Dylan is injured, but on the day he's going to come out number 69 short on the back, and he's going to come in and score the winner. Free kick the last minute.
Free kick.
Look very, very likely to be playing. Wearing some new Mizunos, especially for the nutmeg on you. No chance. I hate technology. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Joe B. Going to be very interesting. What way are we looking at with sales as well, Joe B? Let the people know in the chat. We'll pull up as well, because the last we've seen it was the sales were going good. I think we're approaching the 300 mark, which is absolutely class to see. Daz Potter with the left peg, putting one of them in the top bins. When my gaffer Dylan on the sideline orchestrating. That's it. We can hit a free kick, lads. We can Dylan vouch that. Not at penalties. I'm all right at penalties. Not too bad. That was only a mess the other day. Not too bad at penalties, but free kicks is my specialty.
I'm shy at penalties.
No, you're not.
I'm shy at penalties. I'm my best.
No, you're definitely not. 100%. No.
We've been a good ball. That's where we bend the light.
Dillo, I think that's it. I think we'll wrap it up there. We've gone through it. Leeds United have got their man Jaka Bijol, been covered by all the creators, and of course, let you in a little secret. I've been waiting all week for Bijol. All weekend, I had the thumbnail ready. I was like, as soon as it's dropped, I'm gonna go live. And then today, Dylan knows me little lad was in for a little small procedure in hospital today, and decided to bring him down for a dinosaur after, because he was so brave today, everything that he went through. And then I'm standing in the toy shop then, and then the news breaks to be all, and I'm just like, typical, absolutely typical. All weekend, floating around the house doing bits and bobs, checking the phone, checking Twitter. It's going to drop any minute. Go live, bam, and then no, happens today, but sure.
It's typical, isn't it?
Done and dusted anyway, isn't it?
Typical, just literally typical.
And we'll leave it at this one then. Joe Blackburn says, climbing up to the 300 mark now, very likely to be selling on the day to 100%. You'll get loads of sales on the day. Hopefully it's a good day as well. Crossbar challenge from the centre spot. That's what I was doing. I thought it was still the crossbar challenge, Danny. Dylan told me it was still the crossbar challenge. We're trying to get the crossbar challenge going at the Creator Cup as well, and see if the other creators want to get involved. Well, it'd be good to record that for the Whites Wake Up for you guys as well. Paul says, another question, would you sell Mateo Joseph? No, I wouldn't sell him. I wouldn't sell him.
Right.
I know. No. I understand the point of view of the PSR, and it makes sense from the club and all that, but at the end of the day, I'm more like, I'd like to see how the player develops and then what we could have in a couple of years' times if he does fulfill the potential that we know that he has in him. I think don't pull the trigger on him too yet. Maybe evaluate again this time next year and see kind of what sort of season he has, whether it's going to be out on loan or it's going to be with us on the fringes or wherever it may be. But I just think another season of development in Joseph, I don't think it does any harm at all.
Doesn't any harm, yeah, I agree. 100% agree.
Yeah, definitely. Mark says, hope you're well, guys. Happy with you all, but definitely think we'll need another centre-half with pace to survive. Do you know, I don't think he's that slow. I forgot to touch on that as well when I had the player profile. There's people kind of saying there's no in between. It's like he's not quick, so he's slow. But you can just be okay, Dylan, can't you? Like he's definitely not lightning. He's not as quick as Rodon. Rodon is quick, even though people think he's slow. He's not slug's pace either, like the way Robert Snodgrass used to be. He's not slow. He can move.
Oh yeah, he can move a bit. But I tell you one thing, going back to Rodon, that man's an absolute line and bolt. I would like him running now, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, he's all good, Shane. Just a little small procedures, thank God. So he's all good, lads. Absolutely great save. Something that's been hanging over us the last couple of months. So yeah, great. Buzzing inside and then jumped on to do a stream tonight as well and be all signed. So it's been a good day at the end of it all. Gonna be a great day, lads. Can't wait. Yeah, me too, Stephen. Looking forward to meeting yourself and the missus and all that again. A couple of points on the day would be great. I hope Sam is good, as thanks for a great stream, lads, and providing me with the distraction. Yeah, so shout out to Jam as well. Jam did lose his granddad as well during the week, so thoughts go to you, buddy, and hope you and the family are keeping well, pal. We're thinking of you over here at Only Leeds Bros. Jam is a regular here in Only Leeds Bros, especially for our match reactions at the game, because he has that Welsh kind of soothing voice where he can calm us all down and bring us all back down to earth when Leeds United don't do great. So thinking of you and the family, buddy. I'm very, very sorry to hear the passing of your granddad, buddy. I know how much he meant to you. Shane Kavanagh straight out, sell Joseph. No prisoners with Shane Kavanagh tonight. He's straight out. He's talking about pinning Innes's and Mateo Joseph and all that. Carl Water says, great stream, lads. Cheers, pal. Really appreciate it. I thought Creswell was going to Jid Joseph tonight. Unbelievable, Danny, wasn't it? And then Archie was in the melee there as well. Very, very good. Love it. Very, very good. The crossbar still rattling from your penalty there. That was some strike. If I had a caught Dilla with it, would have been gas.
My head would have came off, lads.
You should have Meza in goal. He wouldn't save any of them penalties. I was terrible, Dylan, for your penalties, but he definitely wouldn't have got near any of them whatsoever. Stephen Bourne says Mark Viduka was slow. He was very slow. Look how he turned out, 100%. Yeah, once you're a bit quicker upstairs. And there's a couple of condolences coming in for you, Jam, buddy. Yeah, love to see condolences to Jam. Big up, Jan. Hope you're okay. And we'll finish it off with this then. Thank you, lads. Don't get me going now. Have more tears. Absolutely love you. As we leave it there, lads. Again, on your way out, please don't forget to slap a like on the video and hit subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the channel. We're trying to be a lot more consistent here on Only Leeds Bros, posting a little bit more for you guys for polls and stuff like that to get your opinions. Obviously live every Monday night, couple of shorts through the week, video out on Wednesday, and then live every Friday. And then of course then our new favourite and everybody's new favourite is the Whites Wake Up as well every Saturday. That we'll be back this Saturday as well, so keep an eye out during the week as well for a couple of the games.
The Bros Builds Challenge, so I'm tuning out up, lads. Stay tuned, because I'm going for the hat-trick this time.
Going for the hat-trick, but I've been out practicing, been out running and all, did a 10k there and all yesterday. Coming for you this week. I'm coming for you this week. Give me a plug, lads. Go check out Sean Healy over in Marching On with Sean there. More Leeds United content. Support all the Leeds United content creators that you can. Sorry for your loss, Jam. Can't wait for Saturday. Yeah, the Whites wake up. You can't beat it. Thank you all for your kind words. We leave it there at that, lads. Mind yourselves. Mind each other. We'll chat you all again soon. Talk to you soon.